Hey everybody, it's me. I'm Nathan Toon coming to you from these piney woods of East Texas, and I just want to invite you to come and eat. So before we start, I want to explain to you what we're going to be making. We're going to be making I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my buttermilk biscuits. Not just any buttermilk biscuits though. These are going to be, y'all see that? These are going to be the jalapeno cheddar biscuits. Okay, so we're going to get into the ingredients in just a minute. I lost my hand towel. You would have thought I would have started this with my hand towel on me, but I didn't. Where to put it? Where to put it? Found my hand towel. All right, this video is going to require a lot of editing, but anyway, we found my hand towel, okay? You're going to have a hand towel. I had to have my hand towel because before we get started into the recipe, I'm inviting y'all to come and eat. I want to tell y'all where that is coming from. Because eventually, one of these days, anybody that knows me that's watching knows that I love to cook, I love to eat, I love food, okay? Food is life. Food is something that you can just gather around each other or gather around with each other and enjoy, okay? So, that being said, I do want to have a restaurant someday. So, and when I do have that restaurant, I've already talked to some people about this. I want to call it Come and Eat. I want it to be something that's kind of, you know, that's family style. When you come, you literally come and eat. If y'all come over to my house, if you know me, when you come over to our house, to me and my grandma's house, y'all come and eat, you're going to get fed, okay? So, the scripture is in Isaiah 55. That's chapter 55, and it's verses 1 and 2. And it says, Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. That is a good word, y'all, and that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to delight ourselves in fatness. Let me lay this Bible down. Okay, that one last part there in that scripture verse, delight yourself in fatness, is kind of funny because my grandma said that my grandpa would always be saying there's all kinds of scriptures in the Bible verse. Yeah, there's fasting. We got to fast, and it's important to fast, y'all. It's an important spiritual thing to do. But he said, they got all kind of feast, and he said there's all kind of word in there about delighting yourself and about the fatness of the Lord and all this. So there you guys, you just have it. It's Isaiah 55, verse 1 and 2. Delight yourself in the fatness, y'all. Delight yourself in the fatness. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start. Let's get into it. I know y'all waiting. So I'm doing a double batch. I will set this up here on the screen. I'll also post it so y'all can do it any way you want. But this is the recipe. Yeah, I just scribbled it down. I will type it out for y'all because, I scribble. But that's for a dozen. But since I am getting ready for a bake sale right now, we're going to do a double batch. So I just doubled everything. But, when you're cooking, I try to write it down so I have some kind of guideline. And I try to stay within a guideline so that I kind of know how much it's costing me to make this. And so I can kind of get it right. But look, it's called soul food, okay? So that scripture talked about your soul, And so that's why, another reason, when it comes to the restaurant, I want it to be an experience for something. When you guys come out here, and people that have already came out here, y'all know, when you come out to eat at our table, you know that it's an experience for the mind, for the body, for the spirit, and for the soul. And that's what I want to create with my restaurant. And I create with my food, because when you're making food, you're not just making food, okay? You're giving something of yourselves. That's the way I feel about it anyway. So, when you have a meal or something, that's something that's nourishment for your body in any way you take it, okay? So it's a special thing, and we need to treat it as a special thing. That's the way it is to me, okay? So it's not always going to be the same, okay? When you're making food, don't get upset about it. The weather can have a lot of things to do with it and all that. However, we're starting, since I am doing a double batch, if you want to make 2 dozen of these, we've got 9 cups of the self-rising flour. That is 9 cups. I don't know much Spanish, but nueve, okay? 9, all right? So we got 9 cups. Now, what we're going to do with that 9 cups of flour, we're going to start, and I got my hands. Their hands are clean, okay? You got to use your hands when you're making biscuits. If you don't use your hands, then you ain't making them right. Now we got our chilled butter and we got them cubed. This is going to be, I almost forgot what it was. It is a whole stick of butter because the recipe that I created calls for 4 tablespoons of chilled and diced butter. But we're doubling the batch. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing a whole stick of butter. Okay? Then you're just gonna take your little cutter. I hope y'all can see that. Maybe I'll fix it here in a minute. All you're gonna do is just cut this into the flour. You just wanna make sure that it gets all good, incorporated, and you wanna make sure that it gets all crumbly because that butter is gonna be part of it, a big part of it, with cutting it in like this and making sure that your biscuits turn out so flaky and so good. So we're gonna do the same amount of the vegetable shortening. Remember, this stuff has gotta be chilled. If it's not chilled, you gotta slap it. Get it out of there. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We are gonna just cut it in to the flour. Okay? We slinging flour already, y'all. We slinging flour. Okay, so we have incorporated our butter. We have incorporated our vegetable shortening. But make sure again, they're chilled. So what is the next step? The next step is gonna be the buttermilk. We're gonna add this buttermilk. Now the recipe that I have, which is for a dozen. If you're making a dozen, I wrote down. Remember, I have to look at this because when I'm making these, when I'm not worried about doing a bake sale or whatever, I'm throwing this stuff, okay? Because again, I told you it's about the love, it's about the way it feels, it's about the way it looks. So if you don't know any of that, you gotta figure it out. And you gotta look at it. So that's why I'm making this video, so I can kind of give you an example of the way it's supposed to feel and, well, it's supposed to look. It's kind of hard for you to tell how it's supposed to feel. But you can get an idea of the consistency and everything. So for buttermilk, I wrote down 1 cup and 13 tablespoons for whatever reason. However, we're just gonna go with the feel of it today, okay? And see as it starts getting all put in. Now I said we were gonna put our buttermilk next. Normally I do, but I like to, I've done it different ways. And then I found out this way works better. So we're gonna mix in our cheese. This is 2 cups of the mild cheddar cheese. I like to usually use the sharp cheddar, but I went with the mild this time. And then we're gonna use a cup of the diced jalapeños. These are the Mount Olive diced jalapeños. Now look, they still ain't come up with a way for you to smell a vision. But I wish y'all could because, oh, they smell so good. I love jalapeños. We're gonna throw them in there. All right, and I left some of the juice in there too. You gotta use the juice. Don't be afraid to use the juice, okay? That's what's gonna make it good. So, we're gonna just go ahead and let me show y'all here. We're mixing that in. Now, so since this is calling on my recipe for a cup and 13 tablespoons, again, whatever that is, we're gonna put about just over 2 cups in here, I guess, because this is 2 dozens. 2 dozens. It's 2 dozens, y'all. Okay, we're gonna make ourselves a little well. Look at that little well. Can y'all see my little well? Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna make ourselves a little well, and we're just gonna pour it in there. Fill up that little well. That's all y'all do. Here, look, back it up. Fill up that little well, okay? All right, and then we're just gonna start incorporating that oh so good buttermilk in there, and until you get it in there, and we're gonna do it again. We're just gonna repeat the process. See, now we're already looking at about, based on what I put in there, I feel is about 2 cups. Or you can look at this and it's almost half a jelly. So you just got to go with the feel of it, y'all. I'm gonna add just a little bit, maybe about half a cup. So we might be going with 2.5 cups ish. 2.5 cups. Look, like I know y'all want to use measurements, but look, I'm sorry. This is called soul food for a reason, okay? And one of the reasons I want to do my restaurant is because I look around sometimes and I go to different places and they call themselves soul food, and then you look in the back, my God, why would they have that open? I mean, sorry. When you look in the back, you see these big old cans of stuff. And I'm like, I came for some soul food and they open in a can of green beans? I mean, I came for some soul food and they open in a Marie calendar? Yeah, I can't. To me, that makes it not, not worth it. You call yourself soul food, where's the salt? And so that's what, you know, we got to put into it. So y'all see how this dough is starting to look like, I would call it like Play-Doh. When it starts looking like Play-Doh, it's what y'all want. I'm trying to give y'all a good view. Look at that. Crumbly, okay? We're not gonna add no more of the, we're just gonna get down into it and do the nitty gritty. And what I like to do is really messy, but we're gonna do it. And we're fixing to throw it out here. And we're gonna throw it out here on this counter, okay? And then we're just gonna start incorporating it. And this, hold on, I done got my fingers floured up, and y'all can't even see what I'm doing, and that's the most important part. Ooh. Look at these fingers, and I'm supposed to flip my camera around. Give me a second. I'm gonna figure it out, y'all. Whoo-wee! Hey, look, I gotta get down here like a little hobbit. All right, now y'all can see what's going on. Okay, so this is the part. This is where it comes in. This is what's gonna make it. You wanna just gently fold it over and over. Remember, this is for 2 dozen biscuits. Y'all see this? Y'all see that right there? Can y'all see that? That part right there is what's gonna make that biscuit. It's gonna make it so tender and so flaky. I know, so good. All right, but the texture is coming together. You don't have to do it too many times, just enough, and just a little enough flour so that it's not so tacky. Look at that. You see those layers? That's what you're looking for, is these layers. If you're ever watching TV and you see them use a rolling pin on the biscuit dough, turn the movie off, because that ain't how you do it. We're gonna call that it, and we're just gonna pat it out. The thickness is gonna be maybe just over a ½ inch. Keep your station good and floured, otherwise it'll stick too much. All right, we're just gonna keep spreading it out a little bit till we get enough to where I can start cutting these biscuits. And I got my grandma's old-timey, old-fashioned biscuit cutter. She's had that for years. And when we lived out in the little holler in Missouri, she would use that biscuit cutter, and she cut them biscuits out, and she put them, get this, she cooked them biscuits in a firewood stove, y'all. An old-timey wood stove. And that's where the soul was right there. That's the thickness I like. And then again, I like to do that. So now we're just gonna start cutting. And look at that. Look at that biscuit. You can really see that that's gonna be some fluffy biscuit. All right, I'm just gonna cut. We're gonna cut the rest of these, and then I'm gonna put them on the pan. Then we're gonna bake them. All right, so we got our biscuits. They are panned up, and they are ready to go in the oven. This is a big old quarter pan. So y'all see how big that is? Oh my goodness. It actually made more than a dozen. We got 2½ dozen, okay? So that's perfect. That means we get something we can snack on. All right, and we can show you how they're gonna turn out. Now they're just gonna go in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put them in the oven for 425 degrees. We've got it preheated already. And we're gonna put them in the oven for 16 minutes. We're gonna go with 16 minutes, all right? So, we'll be back. Oh my goodness, would you look at those biscuits? They are so hot and good and fresh out of the oven. Now, I know that some people, y'all like them to be a little bit more, you know, brown and stuff on the top or whatever, but these are my jalapeno buttermilk jalapeno cheddar biscuits, okay? So they're gonna be a little bit softer, they're gonna be a little bit gooier, and they're gonna be oh so good. I gotta show y'all a good one while it's still hot. Look at that steam coming out. Look at that steam. Y'all see how good it is? All right, now, dang, these are fresh out of the oven, okay? Look, I can't do the pull. It's too hot, hold on. Oh my goodness, y'all. Y'all see those layers? That's what I'm talking about, okay? Y'all. Look, I can't even get the picture. That is the way it's supposed to be. So that's how I make my Buttermilk Jalapeno Cheddar biscuits. And this has been, I guess, a segment of Come and Eat with Nathan Toon, which is hopefully the first segment of many more to come. Until next time, as always, God bless and shalom.